Hi, I'm Dr. Archer Crosley, and today I wanted to talk to you about radiation. Okay, it's an issue that comes up in the office. I'm talking about this because a mom came to me just yesterday, and she was concerned about a CT head scan that I had ordered for her child. She was afraid of the radiation. Now, she kept going on and on about it, and I know she was concerned, but I'm also guessing that she wanted to give my consent to her not getting the x-ray. Well, I wasn't going to do that. I tried to reassure her, but I'm not sure I convinced her. So to begin with, I stated to her that I thought that the CT scan was safe, that it wasn't like we were doing a CT scan every day of the week. I also told her that I was only doing the CT scan under the advice of the radiologist who had requested this CT scan because he thought there might possibly be a fracture. I had ordered a skull x-ray a couple of days before because of a head injury. Quite frankly, I thought the skull x-ray was just going to come back normal, but I got this report back where it was a possible fracture. It was a very vague report. And I also told the mom, look, I can't force you to do anything, but I'm still going to recommend the CT scan. In spite of that, she was still concerned. I could hear the nervousness in her voice. Now, this is a common problem in pediatrics and medicine at large, and it's aggravated by doctors, amazingly enough, who are sounding the alarm bell when the alarm bell shouldn't be struck. So I wanted to go over with you the basics of how much radiation is given with different procedures so that you'll have a better understanding of this. And when I'm done, hopefully you'll agree with me that getting an x-ray, especially a chest x-ray or an abdominal x-ray, KUB, or a skull x-ray is not going to give your child cancer, nor is a CT scan of the head. Your body is much stronger than you think it is. And the amount of radiation that your child will receive is not going to turn him into a mutant, nor will the child start glowing in the dark. So I'm going to post here on the screen some of the different radiation exposure doses that a child will receive with a typical x-ray. I'm going to put it up on the screen there. So you can look at those and you can see that a chest x-ray offers or gives a dose of 0.1 millisieverts. An LS spine, which is a lumbosacral spine, 1.4 millisieverts, and extremity 0.001 millisieverts. Now, just to put that in perspective, normal background radiation from the cosmos, just you walking around outside, in your daily life, is 3 millisieverts per annum. That's with you just doing nothing. And it's an even higher rate if you live in a place like Denver or you live at a higher altitude. All right, now I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but I just wanted to just go over this little point here. And if you look on the screen, you'll see this, where it says that high doses, that's 1,000 millisieverts or 1 sievert, there's 1,000 millisieverts in a sievert, can cause severe radiation sickness and increase the likelihood of cancer. Low doses, that would be 100 millisieverts or less, may also increase the risk of cancer, but the increase is generally considered too small. So if we go back to the original picture, you can see that how low a chest x-ray is, 0.1 millisievert, and an extremity x-ray, 0.001 millisievert. I mean, that's incredibly, incredibly low. Now, of course, the CT head at 1.6 millisieverts is a little higher, but look, it's still far less than what you get just by walking around. And it's not like we're doing a CT head scan every day of the week. We're not doing that, okay? Your child may get a CT head scan maybe once in his life, or maybe we might have to do one once a year, or once every 5 years. So this isn't any radiation level that's going to do any damage to the child. So looking at all that, I hope this assures you of the safety of radiation exposure in healthcare today. I think it's unfortunate, but there are alarmists out there sounding the fire bell when the fire bell doesn't need to be sounded. Even more unfortunate is that some of these alarmists are doctors. And sometimes I think they have an axe to grind with the medical profession. To tell you the truth, I have an axe to grind with the medical profession. There are a lot of things wrong with the medical profession, but I'll grind the axe when I think the axe needs to be ground. I'm not going to grind the axe when there's nothing there. And when it comes to simple x-ray tests, there's nothing there. The x-ray tests are safe when it comes to radiation exposure, especially what you're getting in your doctor's office when he has his own x-ray machine. Now, let me tell you a story, and it's kind of analogous to illustrate a point. I wasn't always an older guy. I was once a younger doctor many decades ago, and I was making a very minimal amount of money. But, I was still worried. I'm a nervous personality, and I was worried. I was always worried about the IRS. Are they going to go after me? Because I was taking these deductions. But my accountant kept assuring me that they were legitimate deductions. But I was young and I was inexperienced. But I kept going on about this. And as I was talking to him about my concerns, I noticed a smile on his face. And after I got done talking, he looked at me like this and he said, Arch, you're chicken feed. You're chicken feed to these guys. And the same thing goes for these x-rays that we doctors are ordering. They're chicken feed. They're nothing on the scale of reality. And that's why I call this program, or this website, this YouTube channel, Real World Pediatrics. It's designed so that I can help guide you into the real world when it comes to healthcare, to give you a better perspective. Okay, thank you.